The views and opinions of this video and comments to this channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of this channel's broadcaster. If you have a complaint about something or find the content is being used incorrectly, please don't contact the broadcaster.
Yeah. Shout out to Balaclava Diaries. I go by Keisha Fresh. We in the building with Mr. Let's Party and OG MacG. I'ma kick it a little something like, yeah, listen, yeah. Jump stars, I push the latest. I'm known to be real, so if it's off, I'm pump faking. You soft, you not making the exhaust blow more smoke than Cheech and Co. I got the Philly for the fix and it burns sweet and slow, sweet and low. No, it's the situation. When I grab the microphone, ain't nothing up in my way. My whip so ain't got brakes. You sleep, I'm wide awake. Hashtag not today. My pride I can't break. I got 5. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. Heads up, you gon' learn today. Chill out, ain't nobody safe in this real life, so I'ma let you feel what I'm feeling tonight. Get right.
So count it down. This is Balaclava Diaries. We're toxic, we're talking aggressive. If you don't like it, send a message. We're weed stimulated, educated, top rated, and never baited. I am the OG MacG. To the far left of me is Mr. Let's Party.
Wagwan people, thank you guys so much for being here. You already know if you're liking what you're hearing, you're liking what you're seeing, you're loving the words, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends, your mama, your grandma. Once again, share that again with your mama and your grandma, especially on those WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, like and subscribe and happy Thanksgiving. So listen, today we have a boss in our presence. Queen bitch, if I may. You know what I'm saying? She's out here fucking wrangling mics, fucking killing niggas and bitches on the mic, and doing it, flicking her hair behind her as she does. Okay? She's Juno nominated. She comes from a crazy lineage. She's put together a group that could doodle on any male, female, doesn't matter, aliens. They're dusting you out. Called a sorority, nasty. Like, she has so many accolades. If I have to name them all, it's the whole podcast. See what I'm saying? But let's give it up for Keisha Fresh. She done all the things set. Bang, 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 bang.
Thank you. What an intro, jeez.
Yo, man, it's a real thing out here. So on this show, we get serious. We get, right into it. We're not really, wasting no time. You know what I mean? Your hip hop lineage is pretty extensive in the Canadian market. How come it's not something you lead with?
There's an artist. His name is Chino. He's Freddie McGregor's son, and he has this line. He says, "Hear what him say. Me on the bus because me ride off for the boss name. When me just a bus, me never advertise my last name." So I've always kind of related to that because my dad is like one of the biggest journalists in the country, and so I never used to really use my last name. I didn't want people to like try to just, want to say like, oh, she's getting this because of her dad, blah, blah, blah. So people never even knew that was my dad for the whole first 5 years of my career. And then when like people started to find out like, oh, like that's Maestro Fresh, that's DJ Mel Boogie's younger cousin too, it kind of became a thing too where it was like, it was just, Mel Boogie's my DJ. That's my DJ. It's my big cousin, but she's my DJ.
Hold on. Not everybody's DJs on radio in Power 106 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're...
So just to have like that, it was never really a thing to lead with, in my opinion, because I really wanted what I was doing at the time. And I came out in the industry when I was 16 years old. So I really wanted what I was doing at the time to just be on its own, have its own, get whatever accolades on my own merit and stuff like that. So it just was never really a point of conversation. Maestro and I didn't do our first kind of works together until 2022 when we did some work on a children's album and so forth. But, prior to that, it was just, I really wanted Keisha to have her own lane and her own moment. And just kind of, that's why.
That's crazy.
Do you feel like that was like the right path to take?
Of course, my very first single, I had Dougie Fresh in my video. I had Mims in my video. I shot it in New York. Like, that was my first song and video. So the fact that I was able to do that off of the name alone and not have to tell anybody who I'm related to or anything like that, I think that kind of proved my point,
Okay. Yeah. I rate that.
That's crazy. Like, you jumped over a lot of things there, but one that I want to kind of stick to for a second is the fact that you come from a lineage of writers. Like your dad was a journalist, Maestro's your cousin. Like this penmanship in your family is kind of diesel, if you know what I'm saying. Like, is there like a certain thing you guys had to go through from like age 1 to 5 where it's like you have to know how to write and read or you're getting beaten? Like what's going on? Like
Yeah, my dad he was an English teacher back in Guyana. You know, he's been a journalist since he was in Guyana. When he came here, he's a journalist too. He writes for the biggest Caribbean paper, the Share magazine, you know. So it's just English has always been kind of just a thing, you know. When I was in high school, I was also working at Caribbean Camera as a writer, interviewing people. So when I was 17, I was a writer as well. So reading and writing has always been something in my house. You know, I was reading novels when I was a very young child. So because of that, and then also my older brother is very into cinema. Having the knowledge of books, but also like the experience of cinema behind you, I think it really shaped my pen personally. I can't speak for everybody else, but my pen, yeah.
So you're at home, you're catching beans, your pops is like, go read a dictionary. Write down your favorite words.
I mean, like we had a library in our basement. So, you know, when we were kids, we grew up like literally our basement was a whole library. So there was thousands of books in our home. And my dad is more so like a community journalist, but he's also big into sports. So, you know, biographies are a big thing. And I'm not into fiction. I read biographies. I read music books. I read, you know, self-empowerment books and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just, you know, that was reading. I always say it shouldn't be a punishment. Like, you know, people say, go in your room and read, you know, parents try to, it was never that in my house. It was like, yo, I want to go read right now. Like you wanted to do it. It was an activity I wanted to do.
That's dope. That's
crazy. That's crazy. And, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, to be successful in life, you got to know how to read, write, and do math. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't do that, then, you know, you're going to fail probably.
Yeah.
You know
your pops is spitting, reading is fundamental every day.
Yeah.
Like,
it was a fun activity. It wasn't like a punishment in my home. So, yeah.
That's dope.
Okay. So, tell us about the sneaker room.
Yo, the man is exposing the girl's life like this.
Question number 2.
The secret's out.
No, you know,
Tell us about the sneaker room, yo.
I'm into sneakers. It's a passion for me, and it's been for a very, very long time in my life. So, you know, I've curated a pretty good collection of shoes over the past, you know, decade or so. Longer than that. I have shoes that are, you know, almost 20 years old. So
hold on, 20 years old. What's the oldest shoe you got then? You're talking about 20
probably
years old.
Probably a Nike Delta Force.
Jeez.
Probably a Delta Force. I have a Delta Force that is about that old.
Are they still wearable? Like, are they?
Absolutely. The soles are good on those. Thank goodness, because, you know, a lot of soles these days
cracking.
Like shoes from like 5 years ago, you see the soles cracking. It's crazy to me, but I've it's my passion. Sneakers is like, for me, it's like collecting art, and I've been able to collect a very decent sneaker. You know,
honestly, through our research, I noticed one thing. Like, you have no boxes. Like, you have a little 1-2 pretty box.
Oh,
you have no boxes.
You've seen my sneakers.
Through the research, you know.
Okay.
We've seen a little 1-2 pretty box, but I noticed there isn't all boxes. I'm a box, like, I have to have every box. Okay. How do you part with your boxes?
Well, a couple things. So the room is tempered controlled. The air.
Yo, blood clot. Say that again for the HVAC people.
The room is temperature controlled.
That's crazy.
The air is it's properly dried, so it makes sure that there's devices in there that keep the moisture from, you know, damaging the shoes. It's not no sun coming into the room, so that there's no oxidization happening quicker than it should naturally. I just want to see my art, yo. I'm keeping shoes in boxes for what? I want to look at my art. So
this is sounding like a lab. So when the man have to fall, they have to go airlock sealed.
Do you put on a hazmat suit?
That's what I'm hearing. I feel like we're about to go to the local weed farm right now. You have to alcohol your hands before you step inside.
It's real important. It's real important.
That is crazy, yo. I honestly, like, I love sneakers, so hearing that you have a temperature controlled room and the air is this and that and filtration.
What would you say are your top 3?
The Jordan 9, I call them the Space Jams. I know they're recently being referred to that, but
why do you guys call them the Space Jams?
Because it's the shoe that he reached for. That was the big moment in Space Jam when Bugs and them reached for the shoe when he sent them home to get his shoes. That was the shoe. It wasn't the Gammas, but whatever. Okay, cool. Whatever you guys want to, whatever they want to say. I
understand,
Space
but I
Jams
just feel
are
like, you know,
anything else, the 11s, whatever. the Space Jam 11, cool, but when you reach, okay, yes, he was wearing the 11, but the moment where everyone was like, ooh, and it was like the bright light was when he reached for the 9s. So that should be the Space Jam 9s, but I digress. That's number one. As soon as I turned 18 and was able to get a credit card, I bought that shoe. So that's a very special shoe for me.
I have those shoes still. Those are one of my favorites
Yeah,
still.
it's a special shoe. My next pair is probably, I might say my De La Soul Dunk Highs.
Jeez.
Okay.
De La Soul is a special group to me, so just to have those shoes in my collection means a lot to me. And my AZ Patrick Ewings, because AZ is my favorite rapper, so just to have that in my collection as well means a lot.
God, those are heavy.
So yo, sneaker game's kind of grimy right now. Still, you heard about the man in LA selling the fakes?
Yeah,
Those are cool kicks.
nonsense.
How do you feel about the reps game right now and just how?
First
like,
off, are you wearing a rep?
are you wearing the reps?
They're not talking to me. You asking me? Wait, you asking me?
She's like, whoa.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you guys.
I didn't know you were talking about me. Like, reps?
No.
ever.
I bought these directly from Foot Locker.
So you're never a reps thing?
No,
Okay,
I don't have
good.
any reps in my
I
collection.
fucking hate people that wear reps. I think they're just
So how do you
unnecessary.
feel about the reps thing? Like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, to each is their own. I'm not watching nobody's pockets. You know what I mean? It's just, I know a lot of these young teenagers are wearing it. You know, they're getting it online and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, like, if that's what they can spend their money on and they still want to look, that's on them. Me personally, I don't wear reps. I don't support that kind of market. You know, if there's a shoe that I want, I buy it. You know what I mean? If it's I can't even say if it's out of my budget because there hasn't been one that I haven't gotten that's like out of my budget. But you know, there's just if you know when you're when you have something you really enjoy, you will make a way to get it. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
For me, it's just always about getting the shoes that I like and that I want to wear and that I like looking at.
I feel like when it comes to reps, it's like, it's whack. Like, if you don't have the bread, just wait. One day, Nike's gonna re-release
Honestly,
them.
I don't blame.
No,
the
like, Nike's
generation.
gonna
Nah,
re-release
I don't blame
them.
them. And you want to know why I don't blame them? Like, I don't wear no reps, but I don't blame them because back in our day, Louis, Fendi, all that, $5, maybe a
That's what I'm
rack.
saying. Them
Maybe
Prada
a rack.
joints was
Yeah.
like $3, $4,
Fuck
$5.
designer shoes. First
Now,
off,
if you want
fuck
that same
designer
shoes,
shoes.
$1,000.
$1,200.
Yeah.
Fuck designer shoes.
$5,000
Fuck
for a
designer
pants.
shoes.
No, but it's just like you want to feel good
Fuck
sometimes. You wanna
designer
be-
shoes. I
Yeah.
fucking hate designer sneakers. I fucking hate them. I hope they all bun up.
Really?
'Cause,
Why?
dog, all of them are whack. And
Nah, them new Louis is hard.
No,
The
The
Louis
Louis
skate
skate
shoes- no,
shoes, the
they're
Louis
not.
skate shoes are
The
hard.
skate
Louis
shoes
skate shoes are
still.
hard.
No, they're not.
They're hard still.
No, they're not. They're always some bougie remix of some Nikes and some Adidas mashup that a man made in his dream. Like, no,
they're
they're never
hard.
original. They never have no tech.
I kind of don't disagree with that. I feel like a lot when you see a lot of them, it's kind of a copy. For example, like the Dior's is Chucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and man
it
are paying
is-
$1,200 for some big air bubble boots that Mario would have worn if he was trying to go get Peach. Fuck that. Just wear some regular dunks and, you know, some
Mario.
trucks, $40.
Oh man.
Live your life, bro. Why do you have to look like Mario? Like, fuck that. I actually hate designer shoes. And then now all of a sudden you're in the club, you see a man stumbling. Why you stumbling? Why
Regardless, Nike is a designer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some of these shoes are too expensive. Like shoes used to cost like $250 max if it was a serious shoe. Now it's like $3 bills to get a Jordan.
Depending on the Jordan.
On
Yeah,
retail.
depending on
you
the
know what I'm saying? So
This year in
that's kind of crazy.
particular,
Like the youth has to go through it way harder nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
it's
back
true.
in our day, things were cheap. Nowadays, it's like, and back in the day, you used to have a one brethren that worked in the store. You could, get a one discount, Foot Locker 50, whatever. There's all types of different
Wow,
ways.
you threw
now
it back.
it's just
Foot
now it's
Locker
just
50. Oof.
now it's
Those are the
just
days. I don't
online
remember
or
that.
whatever option you have available through that.
It's
So
true.
that's kind of fucked up. You know what
Honestly, you know what's the problem is? The youth them aren't able to get the job and hook the dogs up, They're not allowed to do that anymore. They have one link. They work at Foot Locker. It's like you get 2 pairs for the month or some shit now. Discount's
even.
whack, man.
See?
It's not back in the
See,
day.
They don't
so
get
the only
discounts
real
on new
discount nowadays
releases.
is scamming, fam, and then you can get locked up for that. So,
Fam.
like, what choice do you have?
I remember back in
So-
the day, the 50 days, all you have to do is buy whatever you want. Just buy a pack of socks or a cleaner. You're like, I don't mind buying a pair of socks. I need some socks,
Simple.
Need some cleaner. I don't mind
You're not
supporting that
wrong.
aspect of the
So
store.
leave the 50 day with like 6 boxes of
There's kicks,
shoes.
and you're just like, yo, what you have to do to get that? Just buy a pack of socks, man. That's it.
Stupid.
Save $4 on and get a pack of socks.
Okay, so the sorority. Okay, we kind of talked about it earlier off camera, but kind of explain to us, was that like an organic thing, or was it something that, you know, was put together by a label? Like, how did that whole situation work out?
You know, super organic. We were contacted by the Team Backpack Canadian representatives, and they was kind of like, "Yo, come to the studio and do this cipher." They never told us who's gonna be part of the cipher. They were just individually reach out to us. So when we showed up, then we kind of were like, "Oh, like, yo, what's up, whatever." And then we did the cipher for International Women's Day in 2016. It went super viral, like really viral.
Right.
And at the time, like there was
talking like YouTube viral.
I'm talking like, yeah, like, well, Team Backpack, I don't know if you even remember who they were, but they used to release their videos on Facebook.
Right,
And it would be like millions and millions of views on their videos. And so the platform was big at the time because they had Sci-Hi the Prince, you know, a lot of big artists on the platform at the time, but they never had no like International Women's Day cipher. We were their only one. So when we did it, and it released, we had like Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. She shared it. She like hit us up. Like we had celebrities really reaching out to us and asking us like, "Yo, like who were you guys? Where are you from? Like, who, you know what I mean?" So when we eventually like it's got to a point where people were like, "Yo, we want to hear music from these girls. Like you guys should do something together. You should do something together." And this was like March 2016.
Right.
By October, we're like, okay, maybe we can come together and make a group. So we came together. Lex came up with the name, the sorority. And Mishi Me had her birthday party November 3rd, 2016. And she invited us to perform. And that's when we announced on stage, like, we're going to be a group. This is our name. And so we performed the records. And the reaction to our group was just so crazy. Like, you never seen that in Canada. Because there's not a 4 female rappers just rapping raw all the time like that. So in April 2017, we put out an album called Pledge. We announced our tour. We went on tour across the country in May, sold out every night of the tour from West Coast to East Coast. And yeah, I mean, every festival we performed at, like CBC ranked us one of the top 10 supergroups in Canada of all time. Like all of these things came in. And at the time, I didn't realize how big of a group we were until we broke up. And they wrote, we broke up. And I wouldn't even say break up. I would just say we kind of, you know, we all decided like we want to do other things with our career. This was October 2019. But I didn't realize how like impactful of a group we were until I saw they wrote articles about us breaking up, like CBC and Now Magazine wrote articles.
I was like, how did it really end? Like,
this weird legendary
right here on this show right now. What made that bust up?
Well, there was 2 endings. So the first ending was February 2019.
This is a catty thing already.
Nah. February 2019, Phoenix left the group. Kind of wasn't happy with the direction of, you know, what was going on. And, you know, we just couldn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So she had left the group. And then by October, we had already announced a tour. We had dropped a single, Me, Hawaii, and Lex. We had dropped a single, announced a tour. And at the time, we were signed to the second biggest booking agency in Canada, which was APA. They no longer exist. We were with them. So we had shows booked for like a year in advance. Like we were booked. And we just had to kind of sit with each other and say like, yo, this isn't... We were too busy. At the time, Hawaii was putting together her album called 13, which was a Polaris winning album. It was a big album, you know what I mean? So she was working on her solo album, and it was hard to kind of get everybody. I was working on my album at the time. Lex
guys are literally Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Everybody had their own. Everyone had their own kind of situations happening, and then we had like Mel Boogie, like she was like RZA trying to get us all together and make sure we stay together. And I'm like, yo, like I'm out the country. Like I'm a person. I like traveling. You know what I mean? So I'm out the country. They're calling me like, we have to do this, we have to do that. And I was like, I don't really want to come back for it. You know? So eventually, because of what we were all doing individually, we had to like really be honest with our fans, and we couldn't give you the level of what we wanted to, the output that we wanted to. So we broke up.
That out for the check though.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, then you guys left a lot of money on the table.
But it would sully the legacy. Because if we're not consistent, we were super consistent from 2016 to 2019. Right. We were every single week. We were touring. We were in Vancouver, all over the country, like every week. So to be able to go from that to then not even being able to coordinate a time to get in the studio to record a record, it would have ruined the legacy of what we did. So we announced a tour, and it was called Last Call. It was our last tour. And we feel like that was a perfect way to end what we did. Our fans came out, we were in Vancouver, ballroom, 675 people, packed the venue.
Right.
We were able to give them a goodbye tour, which was amazing, So the fact that we were able to do that and not just kind of walk away from it, I think made it all
Do you
better.
think that if everything could align
Yeah,
back
of course.
again?
I 100% do. And I say it all the time. But at the end of the day, it's not one person. It's more than one person. And so everybody has to think that way.
So, like, what are some female rap groups that you like really like? Period. Like, me and this guy were trying to think about female
Yeah,
rap
there's
groups.
That's what I was about to tell you.
Like,
I was about to tell you,
we were
name some, and then
stumped.
I'll answer your question.
There's
Yeah.
not too many. Like
That's
there's
what I'm saying.
there's
We
Salt
know.
and Pepper, little duo.
It's a duo, yeah.
Little City Girls. They had a little one year of summer hotness.
Yeah.
Then there was one more.
I don't even know.
Give me a
Yeah.
rap group, 4 more. Give me a rap group. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. How can you guys mash it up? You guys just been up there. Why would you stop?
Listen,
There's so
I
many
would've wrote
stories
it.
like this out of Toronto, yo. Like,
I would have. But Flo's an R&B group. He said Flo's R&B group. I would have wrote it out, But at the end of the day, I respect my sisters. Like those are some of my best friends to this day, and I respect them. And I appreciate what we did. We did a reunion. I had a set at Manifesto in 2023, and I got the group together to come back and do that show, and that was amazing. And we're working on something right now. I can't really talk about it. I can't really talk
Okay, we
about
got
it.
one exclusive.
Next year's our 10th anniversary, so that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
All right, 10th anniversary. Look out for it, people. Got to look at one exclusive.
Yeah.
One
so we were
exclusive.
trying to get messy. We were like, did ego play a role? Like,
But I'm glad it wasn't ego. I'm glad it was just like everybody trying to build their career in their
no,
own
somebody
way.
must
That's
have
just
been
dope.
salty. You said someone
Nah,
left
she
early.
didn't
Was
say
someone
that.
salty?
Yeah.
a li-
Phoenix did. I mean,
See?
it's okay because we talk about it now. We can laugh about it because we're all, we
So who was the salty
got
one?
past that moment. But
Who was the
Phoenix
salty?
did leave the group on I wouldn't say she was salty, but she left the group kind of not in the best terms. It wasn't on the best terms. It kind of was like I was home watching a movie, and I got a call from my friend who's at CBC, and he was like, "Yo, like, what happened? Why did Phoenix leave the group?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Yo, go look online. Like, it's going crazy right now." And so I log in on Twitter and Instagram, and she posted a note saying she left the group, and I was like, "Oh shoot, let me go to the group chat and see if she's okay." And I go to the group chat, and she was gone, and I was like, "Oh, so." She kind of removed herself, just because it was more so she didn't feel she was being heard. But at the time, those feelings weren't properly expressed, and we didn't sit down and have those conversations. So it kind of blew up in a way that was a little more toxic than we wanted it to be. But since then, we've all, reconciled. We hang out. We went to dinner the other night. Like, we're all cool.
Okay, so this kind of brings us into our next question. It's like, that was a really complex dynamic, wouldn't you say? Like, just having 4 people to manage and, like you said, just going to tours and all that. After a while, it was just too much because if one person's not going in the same direction, it throws off the whole thing, like a team, basically,
Yeah, I feel like people don't understand the dynamics of being in a group. Like, people, when you see groups kind of break up and don't make it, everybody's like, "Oh, why didn't they? You guys, this person's or whatever." It's not just that. It's just that there's 4 different personalities, not just 4. There's 4 rappers in the group, but we also had a DJ. We had to coordinate with a DJ who has children and a whole life, a job. We had to coordinate with a DJ schedule. And then, we had our manager as well. So when we traveled, it was 6 of us, and if we had our videographer traveling, 7, you know what I mean? So the coordination of getting 4 people who at the time still worked 9, like we still had jobs, like we still had to provide for ourselves. People who have jobs, people who are working on their solo career, people who, have family commitments. It was really challenging to just get everybody on the same page. But what I will say is it was one of the best experiences as far as making everybody's pen sharper, because you write a verse, you come out, Havaya spitting something, you're like, shoot, I gotta go back and write my verse.
So
Like,
the competition
everybody's
was there.
pen
The
was
liquor
just,
heat.
yeah,
Yeah,
you heard somebody
better.
spit something and you're in the back like, oh crap, like,
I
nah.
need to
you know
erase
what I
that
mean?
one. I need to
Yeah,
cross that
so-
the word out. That one's not good enough anymore.
It was a good experience for all of us because it pushed us as artists individually to
Nice.
be better.
That's blessed.
So we always do one of our segments is called the Balaclava Breakdown, where we kind of analyze like real life situations and why they kind of happen. So the question is for yourself, why do female rap groups never stay together?
I don't think male rap groups stay together much either. I feel like outside of the locks is it's not really.
It's true.
People have it happens in waves. You break up, then you'll come back and do something, and it's because of multiple factors. But like none of us are. But I'll throw something out there for other female rap groups. One person goes off and has a kid. You know, people want to start a family. People want to do, different things. You know, it's
All
not
those
like
nights in the club add up now.
it's not like
somebody
people
getting
wanna fall in love
pregnant.
with it.
it's not
Somebody
like
getting
it's not like
pregnant.
where I'm not saying men don't please, but what I'm saying is as a woman, like if you're pregnant with a kid, you're 9 months, nobody's seeing you, like except for Cardi B. She's completely the exception to the rule. Cardi is out, and I love that for her. But some women are like, yo, the family thing. This is my responsibility. Whereas a male rapper doesn't, he can still do his thing during that time period. So I feel like with women, you're in a group, people always want to blame it on cattiness, and sometimes it is that there's disagreements and stuff like that. We see that with Salt and Pepper and other groups, but at the end of the day, it's just I think it's personalities. Period. Whether you're a man or a woman, conflicting personalities is gonna cause problems.
Okay.
Okay, so personalities,
Yeah.
life, priorities.
yeah,
Those are the
yeah,
three you think.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I feel like every girl wants her Disney moment, So to
Sometimes,
be a married,
everybody
want to
be everybody want to be Beyonce too as well. Sometimes,
Okay,
sometimes you want to have there's the Beyonce moment, and my thing is, especially in R&B groups, I think that there does need to be a Beyonce. There does need to be someone carrying the vocals, and if someone does have a stronger voice, and I think other people need to be okay with that and get on board. Nobody wants to play their position. Everybody wants to be the boss in a lot of situations, and I think that's what ruins a lot of groups.
Okay.
I like that.
I want to play one of the games, Let's play the what race is this?
All right.
All right. So we have a new segment that we've started.
Oh yes, test it out on me.
What race is this? Where we tell you a story and you have to guess what race it is. Just because we live in Toronto, a nice multicultural place.
Cool.
And it'll point out if you're racist or not.
Oh,
No, I'm
wow.
joking.
All right.
Okay, so you want to read it?
No, go read it.
Man accused of anti-Holocaust remarks and is facing serious jail time.
White.
Yo, she didn't even think twice. She's like, what?
Was I right?
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. But how do you feel about that situation, like being, that pretty soon if you text something or say something on Instagram that you could end up in jail?
Basically, if you say anything against the Jews in about 2 years, you are
I
going to
don't
the
even
bin.
think it's against Jews.
Fam,
I think
anything
it's just
against the Jews in
harmful.
the next couple of years, you'll be going to the bin against it. That's what's happening. I'm telling you guys. Just remember
Okay,
has
so
a
how do
combo.
you feel about that process? Just,
Or
do you think... Because it's kind of locking off your
basically,
pen a bit.
like your freedom of speech being taken away. How do you feel about that?
I think you can say whatever you want. I just think that there's consequences to the things that we say sometimes. My thing is, if it can't just be about one thing. Like if you're gonna punish people for being anti or speaking out against a certain group of people, it has to be for all groups of people. So if anybody denies slavery was a thing, they got to go too. Like it has to be equal across the board. So.
I like that. I like that. Because we have people that deny slavery never.
100%. There's
But
there's
you
groups
think
about
people
it.
should get locked up for what they're saying? That's
No.
crazy.
No, I don't think they should. But if we're gonna lock it up, we're locking up.
But if you're gonna do it, make everybody no. I don't think people should be. I don't
Lock
think
up everyone.
I don't think people should be locked up for what they're saying. I think people should lock up, because sometimes people want to get outside and mash up the synagogue, mash up the prayer, anybody's prayer homes,
Statues
Majid
and
and
all
stuff.
that
You don't,
stuff,
you don't
yeah.
like that becomes a problem. But it's a funny line when you start to try to punish people for such a long, give them a fine or something. Like that's jail time. Like, whoa,
Man's in the bin right now with some
Yeah.
real killers in there.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are you here for?
'Cause he tweeted something,
Don't like the
yeah.
Holocaust.
Yeah, we have to.
Knowing that something like this is coming up, do you feel like rappers should be more vocal about social issues, or do you think they should just stay out of it?
No, we always have. The hip hop was birthed in, out of the civil rights movement. We have to be vocal. We have to continue to use our voice to speak about the injustices that not only happen in our community, but to the people that we actually genuinely care about. I feel like if you're not using hip hop in that way, then you're
Diluting it.
and you're taking up a little bit of space. I really truly believe we need to use our voices, and any album that I've dropped, there's records on there, there's bars under there. I have to speak for people, for my people, and push a cause or something like that. Like it's responsibility when you're taking up hip hop, I believe.
Do you feel like a lot of rappers forget the true origin of hip hop when they're starting out?
I don't think they know. I think a lot of people lack knowledge when it comes to the origins of hip hop. They don't care to do the research and do the knowledge. Like I teach hip hop. I teach it. I've been teaching it for 12 years. So because of that, it's like the research is there. You know, you study these things, you learn these things. I just don't think people actually know where hip hop came from.
Hold on, so you're a hip hop professor?
Yeah, I'm a hip hop educator. So I created a program called Bridging the Gap, the history of hip hop then and now, and the art of songwriting. I was teaching at the Scarborough Boys and Girls Club for a few years, but then the government took the funding
away.
so we weren't allowed to do that. But I also teach. I also do lectures at Seneca College, and I travel with it as well. I often go to Connecticut.
So then, hold up. So then, okay.
That's heavy.
Fat Joe says, like, what do you say? The Puerto Rican started hip hop? That's what he says. Is this like, you know what I mean? As a professor of the hip hop,
there's
you know
like
what I mean?
10 theories. There's 10 theories.
I need to talk to you about this as a professor of the hip hop. How does the
Jamaicans
origins go?
started hip hop.
Those are one of the things that is like, I truly believe if you were physically not there, it's so hard to pinpoint. Puerto Ricans were there. They were there. The Puerto Ricans were with the young black kids in the Bronx. They were in Chicago and Philadelphia, spray painting, breaking. They were always there. They were right on the block with them. He's not wrong, but to say they started it, I'm not too. That is a very hard thing to pinpoint. You know, people to this now, you're seeing a lot of people saying Jamaica, like it didn't come from Kool Herc didn't start it, and there were people before him. So the history of hip hop is now becoming very kind of diluted because so many people are coming out the woodworks with different stories. But I think overall, for the most part, we have a good idea of, you know, how hip hop blossomed, I would say.
Because of Jamaicans. That's all I was trying to get to.
Next story. Ontario man accused of kidnapping, attempted murder, and denied bail.
East Asian.
Correct.
Wow, you be on the news, man. You be out here reading the news.
Are Indians getting away with murder?
Huh?
In Toronto, like Brampton, you know, fucking up shit, driving over cop cars, like, you know, stabbing people with swords, fireworks displays, leaving all the trash in the parking lot, building a 30-foot monument. Like, they're doing whatever they want. Are they getting away with murder?
I think the monument was okay. It's in there, you know. That's
I'm just saying,
that's
like,
their...
nobody else got to build no 30-foot monument. You know what I'm saying?
There's no Bob Marley statue. You know what I mean? There's no Marcus Garvey statue.
People build one.
There's no Jewish statues.
Here's
like,
my
you know
problem with that. They raised that money to build it themselves. The government didn't give them the money. So if we want to complain we don't have things, we need to pool our money together as a community and build those things. If we can buy the land to build it, do it. But we're not. That's the problem.
This girl's dodging all of the politically incorrect things.
Fabs, you're saying the facts. She's spitting facts, though.
Because accountability is such a big thing for me, and we're constantly looking at what other people in communities are doing. But I focus on me. You know?
So based on how crazy the fucking violence is in this city right now, do you think we should put in, is the bail reform in Canada working? Like the man...
No, it's not. That hell no. I am all for bail reform. I'm all for. We need to have stricter bail. There's no way people are on their sixth bail and still getting arrested. I don't think that makes sense. Personally, I feel like we need to revisit that one.
Do you think we should have a 3-strike law like in the States?
I'm not gonna hold you, like
maybe
not 3, because sometimes it's so small.
That's just meant to like lock up a whole bunch of niggas.
It's too small sometimes. So I don't believe in all them Reagan era stuff and the Clinton era stuff.
So what about 4 strikes?
No, I feel like it should be based on the...
you and your girl get in a situation, the man calls her, that one's, you get an extra one.
It should be based on the crime that you commit,
So there should be like zones, basically.
Yeah, like a lot needs to happen, I truly believe.
Okay. So, book smart, street smart. This is our final thing, and then we'll ask you our last question. But this is whether or not you would attempt to use the book smart approach or a street smart approach, based on your life situation. So,
cool.
If your label promised you to drop 4 projects and 3 tours, but you only ended up getting 1 mixtape and a bar tour of the GTA. How would you react to that?
Is Keisha going there with the strap?
Are
is she
you going
spraying
there
up
with
the
the
whole
strap and
building?
gun butting somebody?
Is there some fire going on? Some spray painting? Having a protest?
Fulfilled, or are you just going?
You linking a lawyer? You know what I mean? Going there looking like you're playing Call of Duty, masked up, strapped up.
So there's a unit at the TPS that be watching these stuff. So I'm gonna say I will call my lawyer, and I'll let my lawyer have I have a great entertainment lawyer. He's got me out of a bad record deal before. I will call him and let him deal with everything. I will stay out of it until he gets me out the contract.
All right, so yo, imagine there was no TPS watching this.
Imagine.
Yo, that was fucking hilarious. So yo, I'll say it, yo, you don't know. So if Keisha did, had to deal with something like this, I'm just pretending I'm her, allegedly.
Allegedly.
She's going in there,
Nah.
blood, shanks, death. Allegedly.
Like, it's
allegedly.
I honestly, I really don't like being taken advantage of. I was when I was 16 in the music industry. So because of that experience, like I get real dark when it comes to those kind of things.
Oh, trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry.
So you're
Allegedly.
walking in
Remember
the
the allegedly
offices,
part. Remember the allegedly part.
DMX in the I'm coming through.
He's going there flipping tables. Fucking with my fucking contract! Yo, John! Flip! Yo! I know you were going in there wilding out. They're like, oh my God, Keisha, no, we got to talk tomorrow. Have the Keisha tomorrow.
You know what she's doing? She's just like, yo, they're not dealing with me right, dog.
Done.
Oh, yeah?
Done.
Next day, there's
Done.
50
Done.
niggas in the
That's
fucking
it.
facility.
Not said. Done. That's
Allegedly,
it.
remember,
That's it.
it's all
Allegedly. Not
allegedly.
said.
Remember,
Not
everything in a
said.
hypothetical.
Not said. That's it.
Allegedly, hypothetical situations,
Yeah,
all
done.
right? TBS, you
All
don't know.
right, so our final question, let's.
All right, so we always ask everybody, you see us wearing our mask. We always ask people, when do they wear their mask? Obviously not a physical mask, or a metaphorical joint. Are you wearing your mask when you're on stage, in the business room, with family, with friends? When do you wear your mask? When do you feel like you got to dress it up a little bit?
No, I don't. Actually, I make it a point to not anymore. I show up in track suits everywhere I go these days, and not for no reason, it's not just it's about authentically feeling comfortable in any space that I'm in. I have to be able to wear my fitted and my Jordans, my sneakers, whatever I'm wearing, and show up. And obviously there's times when you have to, clean it up, legacy awards, whatever awards, certain things I might. But just in general, I have a rule of thumb that I have to show up as Keisha everywhere I go. And so if it's certain places that I can't show up as me, I'm probably not going to want to be in that room. So yeah, I take very important meetings these days, and in that meeting, I show up as my authentic self. So I can't even think of a moment where I have to, wear a mask. Whether even with family, West Indian families could be a little harsh sometimes and judgmental. But even that,
You still a rap?
Ugly man.
Those ones.
I show up as me everywhere I go, and sometimes that makes people feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, that's it.
Yo, we love the authenticity.
You rate it.
We love the music. We love the freestyle you dropped for us earlier.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Fuck the
That is
Patriots, you
gonna
don't know.
that's battling Seiko. I think that's gonna take Seiko out top spot still. But
Shout out to
anyway,
my dog
anyway.
Seiko. And
Yeah,
that
big up
was
Seiko.
that was so disrespectful. Like,
Yeah, I had to slide that in there one time.
We have a better record than
Hey,
we have
hip-hop
a
is
better
about-
record than you. Like, that's wild.
Hip hop is
20 years of dominance.
Fuck John
6
Harbaugh.
rings. I don't know what to tell you. That's
Okay.
wild.
Yo, fuck John Harbaugh, you know what I mean? That's all I can tell you.
Anyway, anything coming up in the pipeline? Or
She said she dropped one for us, a special
Yeah,
certain
that's gonna be-
But what
That's
else
gonna be
for
something
the
super special for our 10th anniversary next year. So make sure you just keep it locked to our socials for that. But next up, I got an album produced entirely by Wisdom, Bun It Off. So shout out to Wiz on that. Working on that.
That's my G,
so, yeah.
Balaclava Diaries alumni.
Yeah, so that's it. Me and him have been working on that album a lot, just kind of ironing out things. And so, yeah, it's
That's
2026.
big, All right, OG MacG.
Mr. Let's Party, you don't know. And Miss,
Keisha Fresh.
Keisha Fresh.
Bomb,
the
big up
Blanca.
yourself.
Like and subscribe.
share with your friends, your grandma, on every WhatsApp group. We don't need that shit to spam in the real way.
Yo, make sure granny gets this.
Send it to your grandma. Tell her
So
to
she
say your
could be like,
grandson,
I
your
want the
granddaughter,
blood
them
clot,
on
y'all
this.
send my phone.
You know what I
Anyway,
mean?
yo,
See my
thank
granddaughter
you
on
very
the
much.
internet.
Keisha Fresh, big it up. You done know. We out.
Bam, bam, bam.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.